Okay, so in this video I'm going to go over doctrines and veterancy lines for the Stalwarts, the IPGs, and the Landsknechts. So these, and these. Okay, so the Stalwarts, let me just, boom. So Stalwarts, I have some epic doctrines, so I threw them on there, but most of you won't have those. So you're probably going to go with something like this. Probably won't have the rare ones either, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. You can go with any green doctrines really that either increase defense or piercing damage, or yeah, basically defense or piercing damage. Breakthrough doctrines are really good. Assassination doctrines is not as good on these. Actually, take it off because I'll use it on something else. It's not as good because you don't really get a lot of hero kills with these. They just sit there. So only a moron's gonna run into the front of the Stalwarts and take their damage. You want this 12% bracing damage because you're gonna be braced most of the time. So the 12% increase is really good. I have the health doctrine, 360 health. Breakthrough is really good because you wanna kill units. So it's the best unit damage increase. Yeah, piercing damage and piercing armor penetration is pretty standard. You could also do like slashing defense if you wanted more tanky. You could do, blunt defense. Not as common. You don't need it as much. Um, but typically you'll need piercing defense and slashing defense. That's the most important. Um, I just have these blocking and defense doctrines, so I put those on it. Okay, now we're gonna go to veterancy. Veterancy, you want to go this top tree because they can increase the number of units they can attack. They get a good amount of defense, 10% increase there. Health, damage when they're in formation. And then you still get 120 blocking from over here. So, and this, like, this bottom tree is mostly for the advance. Like, you get these advanced cooldown stuff. Um, and yeah, it's basically for advance, but advance isn't that good. Um, it just kind of like is good at forming up the units into like a tight formation, and then you could brace your advance, and then that'll do a lot of damage. But it's not good for like actually killing units. You typically want to use turtle formation. You don't want to use this shield wall formation. You want to use turtle and brace with turtle. Or you can use the Siltron and then brace with Siltron so that they're. So Siltron's basically if you need to cover your back, it's gonna do less damage concentrated, but it's gonna cover. It's gonna stop like units from attacking your back. Turtle is where you have enemies in front of you, and so you want the Stalwarts to be facing all their damage in one spot. So that's just the difference in use of formation. They're very slow. They take less damage from the front. When they take reduced damage when advancing, and they're fire resistant. So, but you obviously got to make sure that they're not getting attacked from the back because they'll take more damage. Yeah. Overall, they're just a really, really tanky unit, and that's awesome. So now we're gonna move on to IPGs. IPGs, either of these lines work. Like, they're both great. The bottom line is gonna make your IPGs very tanky. This top line is gonna make it so that not only do you do more damage, but your advance is faster. Um, they can't be stunned by ordinary attacks when advancing, which is a pretty big deal. And then it increases the number of enemies that can be hit by a single strike. Um, this means that when they hit units, they can hit 2 units at the same time instead of just one. I like the top line for the advanced speed, and they get that 8% damage reduction when advancing. So I think it's pretty good. I have no complaints. But a lot of people say that this bottom line, they get a lot tankier and a lot more useful in TW. So again, to each their own. It's not too big a deal. Um, Basically, you just use this unit for advance. It's got about a 45-second cooldown. Um, you want to, if they don't have that, you want to pull them out. You either have your advance ready and you push them up to the front lines, or you don't have your advance ready and then you pull them back. Um, Again, you want to use this Siltron formation because it's a tighter ball. So when they advance, all their spears are more clustered together, and so they'll hit more units in that cluster. Whereas if you were using a line, it would be more spread out, and so it's good to use line sometimes against cavalry or even dispersed against cavalry because it'll stop a lot of the charge of the cavalry. Like, you're not really going to kill cavalry with your IPGs, but you're going to stop them from moving for a couple seconds, and that's what you want. You want them to stop. You want to stop them from charging so that your other heroes and units can kill the cavalry. So, you know, again, each of these formations have their uses, and each can be used well. You just need to have timing with those and just have a game sense of like, okay, cavalry line formation, uh, ball group clusters, you want to go with the circle formation. And that's it for that. Let's go to doctrines. So doctrines, you mainly want health, um, health, piercing damage, breakthrough doctrine, that type of stuff. Assassination doctrine's useless. I got the charge doctrine, so I put it on IPGs. The charge doctrine is really good because you can charge your IPGs in and then advance while they're charging. So it gives them a little move speed buff and then they advance. So it's pretty good. I would almost not even recommend piercing damage doctrines and just go straight defense doctrines. But that, I mean, doing more damage is good too. Doesn't matter all that much. On to the Landsknechts. So the Landsknechts for doctrines, you want either piercing, slashing, or defense. In fact, I should probably put an assassination doctrine. Even though they don't really need them, more damage to heroes is always a good thing. Go with that. Yeah, mostly I think the Landsknechts are slashing. They are. So they're a unit that comes in season 6, and they need to. Yeah, so this preparation skill, the unit needs to perform some preparatory action in order to use another ability. What that means is they have to use their brace halberds, and when they brace, they can use charge. So activated by using brace halberds first. After a brief pause, the unit is directed, causing heavy piercing damage. So this is why you want the piercing damage. That you want the piercing damage for your charge. So you can switch out the piercing damage doctrines for assassination doctrine, and that will be basically the same thing because you're using your charge against mainly heroes. You want to snipe heroes with this unit. and then the stab and hook comes after your charge. So you brace, charge, stab and hook. Um, and the stab and hook will inflict bleed damage. Now you want to go top line. The unit formation doesn't really matter all that much. Just kind of like it doesn't really matter. You want to go this top line. Gives you good block break. Piercing damage increase. It unlocks this wedge formation, which concentrates more guys in the middle. It increases battle charges damage by 30%. That's a huge increase. Stab and hooks bleed 150 points. Look, battle charge block break. That's 90% for the battle charge block break. And then increases attack in single strike by 1. That's good, but apparently that effectively halves the damage, splitting it amongst units. But if they have a lot of units, it's good to hit more units because you could stun units with basic attacks. So not mainly this unit is for killing heroes. They're also very good. You can brace these. And armigers will die. A lot of cavalry liaos. These things can kill liaos because of this swamped ability, which increases your damage to cavalry by 16% and then reduces the cavalry's movement speed by 45% for 2 seconds. So if they land a hit on a cavalry, they will apply swamped and they will be slowed by 45% for 2 seconds, which is crazy insane. Yeah, that's basically it. If you have any questions, just let me know.